All right. That was the weirdest way to just start it off. But that's how we're doing. Guys, welcome to the How's Life podcast. This is a crazy thing just to be able to say it's been a long time in the making. Finally here, guys, welcome. This is the first episode of the How's Life podcast. Today, I have my guest, all right, my best friend, the Evan Dorrough, right here. Hey, Evan.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Bro, let me ask you this. How's life?
It's life. It's good, but there's ups and downs and bumps in the roads.
I get that. And 2 times ordered Chick-fil-A stuff.
Yeah, that's quite the thing.
We went to Chick-fil-A this morning, and we Evan got his order twice.
Only paid
twice.
for it once.
It was good. It was free food, so we were grubbing. It's fun. But yeah, no, guys, this podcast is just as much as an experience to you guys as it is to me, because I've never done this. I've created content before as like videos, sort of like vlogs almost or something like that. Yeah. This is my first podcast. This is insane. I'm very thankful to be able to do this. Evan, I have a question. What do you think about this whole thing?
Hold on, Jorge.
Yeah.
Can you give the viewers the backstory for this podcast? Like why you wanted to make it and kind of just like...
Okay, so it originally started 2021 in summer. I was working from my car, and I was just going around mowing grass, as it usually is. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm really bored. And I didn't listen to podcasts back then, so I just started. This is like kind of crazy, but I've started talking to myself in my own head. I know it's like weird, but like I started talking to myself in my own head, and I was like, gosh, wait, like, these are good conversations. So I was like, okay, so let me start talking to people. So I started talking to people, started, having these conversations, asking these questions that I did on when I was mowing grass and all that fun stuff. And then 2020 happened. So I sort of like kept on doing this whole thing, and I've never really like pushed on it, but I knew that it was going to happen. I was like, I think I'm going to get a podcast, but I'm not like entirely sure. It wasn't until 2022 happened, and I was like, holy, I have a lot of experience in this arena of talking, but also like life experiences. And this, like I have some stories that I can tell, and I'm a pretty decent storyteller, I would say.
I'd say, yeah. And
I was like, okay, well, I'm able to talk, and I'm also able to tell stories. I want to be able to get to tell people things. And, I was like, okay, so this podcast thing, let's look at this format. So I started listening to different podcasts all over the place. And I was just like, okay, so I like telling stories, I like talking, so what's next? And then in 2023, I was like, I think it was the winter of 2023, or like winter going into spring, I was like, okay, like I need to do this like now. Like I was like, I know I don't have the money for it, I'm going to try it. So in the summer, I bought like 2 microphones, and I tried recording a podcast. It did not work. It was not the greatest run, but I was getting those practice runs in and being able to be like, okay, this is what I need to look for. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then this year in 2023, but on Black Friday, I was like, holy crap, everything's like aligning. And I was like, I really feel like I should do a podcast. Yeah. Black Friday happened, and I saw all these great deals, and I was like, all right, if I don't pull the trigger now, it won't ever happen. So I was like, okay, we're right here. We're going for it. And so I bought this stuff, and here we are recording the podcast. It is currently December 16th. So this episode also releases on January 3rd, if everything goes right. I'm going to explain that later into the episode. But the story behind this is that I wanted to let people know you can have deep conversations with people. Like, I'm going to be having people on here that are going to be like fun, awesome, amazing guests, but there's also going to be other people that have a story to tell. And I want to be able to give them a place to share that story, but also, open up a little bit and maybe inspire somebody or cause somebody, because that's what happened to me. I listened to podcasts later growing into who I am now, and I was like, oh goodness, like I now am able to think for myself and talk about these stories, and also be able to give some insight or some wisdom on said topics. So that's what this is for. This is for the people of anyone that listens, really, to be able to go, oh, this kid can talk and have deep conversations. Maybe I can do this too with my friends. And what better way to do that than to have it, like, my thing is like, if I can do this talking to people all over the world, you can do it with your best friend and whatnot, Yeah. So we're going to have deep conversations. It's going to be crazy. I don't know how to explain what this podcast is, other than it is just whoever I have on the show. We're just going to be talking. It's just going to be great. With that being said, this is crazy. But no, this podcast started from that idea. The thing is, the first episode is posted January 3rd, if I'm correct. And if that should be this one.
Yeah, that's a Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, January 3rd, is the first episode. And then we're going to go every single Wednesday from there. And there's going to be, I think, 5 episodes because I think the 31st is also on Wednesday. So we're going to have 5 episodes in the month of January, which are all going to be pre-recorded, which are going to happen in the span of December 16th through January 1st. Going to have 5 episodes pre-recorded. And then our first actual live almost episode, meaning live like during the week of, will be in February, I think it's 7th. Yeah, February 7th. We'll be back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We'll be back February 7th to explain what is Youth Weekend, which is going to be actually kind of crazy.
That'll be crazy.
Yeah,
really.
It'll be a great... Gardens, yeah. No, Gardens. It's going to be great. I don't know if the signups will still be available, but if you guys have the opportunity to, and the gates almost are still open, so sign up for Youth Weekend 2024 Gardens. It is going to be awesome. That's the church that we go to, ACC. So make sure you guys do that. I'm clapping all over the place. Yeah, we're going. All right, the over-under is like 100. We're going to get there eventually. But the whole thing about this upload schedule that I was trying to explain with you guys is that there's a lot of things I'm still trying to figure out, like the upload thing. As far as I know right now, the only place I can upload is YouTube. So Spotify, I'm trying to get on there, but there's like a middleman that you have to pay for that. Your stuff has to be uploaded, and then it will be on Spotify. This whole thing I'm trying to figure out. So as in right now, the cheapest option for me is free on YouTube. So that's where you're going to find it. That's where you're finding this episode. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know on the Instagram at the How's Life Podcast. Make sure you guys can go over and follow that one.
It's How's Life Podcast.
It
is these. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I could have sworn it was the.
Yeah.
Not the.
The reason why I had to be these because there's already 2, or technically 5, but 2 that are like kind of good How's Life podcasts.
Really?
So we're not the first, but we are going to be the most dominant, like the SEC. I'm just playing.
This is big facts.
I know. So sort of transitioning into, I guess, what would be sort of fun talk. SEC football. I just want to go and get your opinion, even though we sort of agree on the same thing. There's a big thing that happened in the college football playoffs this year. So you got Michigan, they got number 1, all right, and then you got Washington, they got number 2, and then Texas, who got number 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Then the 4 seed was between 2 people. It was what was an 8 seed Alabama
and
that had lost to Texas, who was already in the third rank in the college football playoffs. They were going to play Washington, but they had won all their games, and they won their conference in the SEC by beating the number 1 team in the nation, which was Georgia at the time.
Yes.
FSU was undefeated and won their conference. I don't think
by
that
3 points.
Yes. If you don't know which side we're on already, but Alabama snuck in at 4, and then FSU got 5, and Georgia got 6. With that being said, it caused a lot of commotion, even to the point where Ron DeSantis asked for $1 million to sue the CFP, which was...
Yeah, there's also a few other politicians from the Georgia side that are suing for...
I don't know that.
I think I saw that. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But so there actually might be an emergency 6-team playoff like J.J. Watt.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So then my belief is that Georgia steamrolls FSU.
Okay.
Alabama beats Michigan.
Yes.
And then Texas beats Washington. Georgia beats Texas because Alabama would get a bye because they beat the first seed.
Oh, really?
I'd imagine so.
Okay.
And then Georgia and Alabama play. Georgia probably wins in the Natty.
Yeah, that makes
sense. Just because Kirby Smart's not a bad player, and it's very hard to go back-to-back beating a team at that level.
Yeah. Now, the thing that I would say is that even if that doesn't happen, regardless of the outcome of the whole situation of the national championship, I still think the CFP made the right decision by putting Alabama in at 4 over FSU.
I agree.
Because so many people are like, oh my goodness, why would you not let an undefeated team? There's lots of people that and by the way, I called it was going to happen. I called multiple people and multiple friends. I was like, listen, Alabama is going to sneak in. I don't care. They beat Georgia. Whether FSU wins or loses, Alabama's getting in. Plus, the CFP is a business, so they know they get more.
This is true.
If Alabama played that game than if FSU would. And Michigan knew it too. As you can see, the response, they weren't happy. They were excited to go play not as good FSU team versus because, guys, Alabama's a different team in the playoffs. I'm an Auburn fan, but Alabama in the playoffs is literally insane. Only, what would that be? 2 teams beat them? Georgia and Ohio State or something like that. In recent years, I know.
In the Saban era?
Yeah, in the Saban era.
And the national, okay.
Insane. So that's my opinion on it. But we're gonna let this all happen.
I think they also didn't want to have another Cincinnati or TCU because TCU was going into the national championship 13-1 or 12-1.
Yeah, because they lost their conference, but they were undefeated.
12-1, and they somehow still got the 2 seed. And
no, wait, TCU got 4. Did I get 4? Wasn't it? Okay,
I just
Georgia?
looked it up and it said 2 TCU and 1 Georgia. It might have been
no,
just
wait,
after
you're right.
that.
No, you're right. You're right.
So then, Cincinnati the year prior was about the same exact thing.
Yeah, and then Alabama.
And they got steamrolled by Alabama.
Yeah, so
that's probably why the CFP was not going for FSU.
Yeah, but next year we're gonna have a 12-team playoff, which is gonna be amazing.
No SEC team. There will be 2 SEC teams in there.
No, there's gonna be half.
There's no more divisions.
I know, but if half of the
Have you seen Florida's schedule?
Yeah, but they're not gonna make it.
I know,
but
that's how everyone's schedule is going to be looking like.
Yeah, my thing is that you got to look at it now. And yes, there are 2 conferences, the SEC. But if you include Texas and Oklahoma, and you did 12 teams, half of them would be SEC right now. I think it's.
Oh, you mean current?
Yeah,
like
currently.
I'm saying if we kept divisions, yes, we could do that.
Yeah.
But not with the no divisions.
I don't know. We'll figure it out for sure. The thing is, this episode obviously comes out January 3rd. What are your predictions? What are your predictions for the two matches? Because our 3 technically. You're gonna have.
I kind of hinted at them already, but I think
you think Texas is gonna.
I think Texas beats Washington.
I think so too.
We do football different down here. And then Bama beats Michigan. There's a reason when they saw Crimson, they were getting all excited because they were expecting FSU. And then they all sit down in their seats with a very bad sigh when they see Alabama Crimson Tide in that 4th seed.
Yeah. I'm an Auburn fan, but Roll Tide. Anyway.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. That's next year. Evan, diving into a little bit of a deeper conversation, Turner. I know this is a weird transition, but this year, at least for me, I don't know as for you, has been a crazy transition into a world that we're now like almost becoming adults. Yeah. And what I would consider my last year of being a quote little kid, or not a little kid, but like not going into college. This year was insane. I had a lot of growth in a lot of different places in life. But for you, when it comes to your story and the way that your year looked this year, what was the biggest thing you took away from this year? Like life lesson wise, or what's something that if someone was listening that you'd be like, hey, this is what I learned this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what would that look like for you?
I would say being genuine, like to who you are. We've had plenty of people this year that have not treated us great. And most of that was from like a fakeness, if that makes sense, and not like a genuine place. And it didn't feel good to me, and it didn't feel good to anybody else that I've asked about it. So like, I know how it feels to like have someone that's disingenuine to you, and it's not a great feeling. And I feel like, at least for me, I feel like a genuine person. So I feel like if I contradicted being genuine, I just would be going against my character. I would like to think that that's just not who I am, to like be contradicting my character on a regular basis. No,
I know that. I've witnessed that a lot from you. And you also hold me to that standard too, as we know that there was an incident that happened in the fall that I was going sort of not like off of a deep end, but like I was sort of like trying to alter what would be my normal behavior to make sure that something wouldn't happen. And you caught me, and you like rightfully so, as a good friend would do, and go, hey, that's not who you are.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to do that. Which is, I'm going to go ahead and say for the people that are listening, most of the time that's very uncomfortable. All right. Like that is a very uncomfortable thing to do, but that is so important to be able to do with your friends and be able to call them out when they do the wrong thing. Because that's the one thing I very much value about you, is that you, even when I'm in the wrong, you will, or when anyone's in the wrong, you're not afraid to call them out and be like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. And it's nothing harmful. It's nothing in a rude way. It's just like, hey, like,
it's just like keeping your guy accountable. Like,
yeah.
One thing that I would think that our friends are like, kind of like why we're so close is we have those hard conversations. It's like, it doesn't matter what it is. We will have the conversation.
Yeah.
It's one reason is probably because we're all so close.
Yeah.
And I think we got so close because we just had the weird conversations.
Yeah.
Like when we have spend the nights and everyone's at my house or whoever's house, we all get together, and when we turn the lights off, we'll have, I say in air quotes, what we call girl talk. And we just talk about life for like hours on end.
Yeah.
And it's just not like any of the shallow things that people in our generation talk about. So it's
no, because our spend the nights are very much different from normal people's. Like, like I just like get flashbacks to us like playing what is considered and like Taylor Swift music, or like Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus, and we'll just be singing on the ping pong table and whatever, and then we'll just like 2 minutes later we'll be like, all right, so how's life been? Like, like it'll just switch like that. But it's good because we trust each other like that, and to be able to have that foundation is super crazy. One of the things that I think, if I may, saw you grow in, and I know this is for people that don't know, I know how this can be taken from you like sarcastically, but dude, your patience. Like, I know that you're gonna laugh, but like, dude, I had dates, and dates too. But bro, your patience that you grew this year, and it's not as much a tolerance of BS, but it's your patience with people, and it actually like grew exponentially. And I saw that, I'm not gonna lie, and I got fired up. I was like, okay, if he can be patient during this storm of his life, I can be patient. And you fired me up, and I was just like, all right, bet. So that's one of the things that I saw you grow in for 2023, what would be? Yeah. Cool. But no, so when it comes to me in 2023, I think the biggest life lesson is to love people. That is the biggest life lesson that I learned this year. And you know this. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get, and there, hopefully, if everything goes the right way, we can maybe have someone on that we'll be able to have this conversation with, and I can explain the story a little bit more in depth, but I don't want to give too much away because we got to get you guys to come back. But
leave you on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you wanting more.
The thing that I learned this year was how to love people, and that's also another thing that we're going to dive into in episode 6 for Youth Weekend.
Youth Weekend,
because I mean, that's just where it happened. That's where I got that message of like, okay, like this is what I need to do. Like, I learned how to go and love people, even the people that are considered your enemies and the people that you would consider being hateful towards. You need to go love those people. And I was like, no. And crazy things happen. Like, crazy things happen. And he put things in my life that I would have never thought would have happened. He put people in my life. He put obstacles in my life for me to be able to overcome that and be able to do that. And for me, that was the thing that I learned this year, is how to love. And also how to love yourself too. Because there is at times where I like had to check myself and be like, this is not who I am. I need to go and do some soul searching. I need to do some like, hey, looking inward almost and go, okay, this is what I need to work on myself. I need to take a little bit of time off over here and give myself a little bit more time over here in the working yourself department, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's just one of the things I learned this year, and I think that is a very valuable lesson. But with all that being said, 2023 was a great year. I loved it. I think 2023 was amazing. 2024, we got some big things happening in 2024, mainly college. That's amazing.
That is going to be.
I have a big announcement of where I'm going for 2024. You already know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to be announcing that in spring because as in right now, not everything's official, but it should be getting it.
Oh, you got to get it.
Yeah.
Sign the paperwork.
Yeah. Sign the paperwork and get the stuff situated. But college.
Yeah.
Where I'm committing to will be coming out in spring. It'll be great. You guys should stay tuned and be able to find out where. Some big things are going to happen. But, Evan, when it comes to 2024 with you, what are you most excited about when it comes to 2024 and going into that year strong? And do you have any goals? Like, do you have any goals for 2024?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about, like, what my goals for 2024 are. I'm not really like a goal setting person. Like I've always known, like when I start something, I know what I want to accomplish, and I never like think of them as goals. It's just like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity in August to go and ski with the Auburn Water Ski Club.
Yep.
They are a collegiate
water skiing club.
Collegiate water skiing club that has made it to nationals, I think, every year since 2000 and maybe 1998.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they won nationals in 2006.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they're not terrible, but they're not like the top of D2.
Yeah.
But I got to ski with them. They're pretty cool. Pretty cool people. Hoping to join that club when I get down to Auburn.
All right.
On August the 10th, when me and Jack and Gage move in to where we're living.
We got confirmed.
Yeah. Well, Gage might not be going to Auburn, but we can take good speculation that he's going.
That he's probably going. Yeah. Gage is one of our good friends. We're gonna have him on eventually.
I've known Gage since the preschool, since the infant room at
the hospital.
Our preschool.
Oh, okay. Never mind. The hospital, preschool. It's all the same thing. Sure. So Auburn, that's crazy to be able to go to Auburn. What? And I know you talk a lot about the rock wall and the rec room.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're most looking forward to in that rec room?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I'm excited to kind of get back into working out. I haven't really had the time since I quit wrestling.
Yeah. By the way, he's currently the best quote unquote ping pong / wrestler in ACC youth, so I had to learn that the hard way. I'm the secondary belt holder almost, but Yeah. No, but dude, okay. I'm gonna brag on you a little bit, but you are probably one of the best wrestlers that I have personally known, like overall, like because not only does your technique in wrestling, like, is it really good?
It's
but also,
really not.
No, it is because. Well, also, I'm not that good, but like you as an 8th grader, insane. Yeah. All right, but also the diet was not insane. But
no, it was not.
Yeah, but the mentality was there. Dude, I would not have been able to have only eaten an egg. Keep in mind, a boiled egg every day for lunch / breakfast.
Yeah.
That's insane. I just got to give it to you. That's amazing.
It's probably the dumbest thing I've ever done.
But, I mean, at least you were a good wrestler in 8th grade.
This is big facts.
Yeah. But no, nobody, don't mess with Evan. 2024, when it comes down to the wire, we got some big projects coming up. The first one being this one, as you guys already know. The goal is to publish, I think, every single Wednesday. Every single Wednesday we'll post a YouTube podcast every Wednesday. The next one is, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I do want to save it, but all I'm going to hint at is 24. That's your guys' first hint. I'm going to drop like a Taylor Swift and friggin' drop like a number, but No. I'm going to drop the number. It's going to be 24. You guys don't know what that means yet, and it's kind of insane. The thing that I'm going for, it's insane. To be able to say that number is actually insane, but I think it's going to happen because I believe in myself, and it's going to be crazy. Well, that being said, any other big things that I have going on? Nothing else besides college and the podcast stuff. So it should be fun. Hey guys, this is post-editing Jorge over here. We currently have 3 subscribers on the How's Life podcast. YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to that, all right? Because if you guys can get me up to...
I need to subscribe.
How many Evans beside me? I didn't even figure out how many people we need to get to. Can we please just get to 100 people by the end of the month? That'd be great.
You don't even have that much on Instagram, bro.
No, but we're going to. We coming, as Coach Prime says. It's fine. Guys, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go and subscribe to that thing. Thank you, and back to the episode. Where did your journey with the church start? Like, where did you find ACC? How did you do that? And I was like, yo, my friend Evan helped me out on this. He was like, yo, you should come over to ACC and, chill out and whatnot.
Yeah.
For you, I only know part of it, but for the people that don't know, how did you find ACC?
Yeah. Okay, so my stepsister and stepbrother-in-law went to ACC in Auburn when they were at Auburn. So when they came back to Birmingham and ACC Beham was kind of starting, they brought my stepmom, or they brought us all one day to Rosewood Hall.
Okay.
And and we've been going ever since. So I think I've officially been going for about 2 years now.
Yes, so.
So
Big up.
yeah.
For you, because I know that when, I think, if I may, you were sort of like church hopping almost a little bit. I would say, what would that be, like early 2022, something like that? You are in the summer of 21 or something like that. I remember just going to different churches. Like for one time we went to like ONPC and that, like we were going around. For you, when you found ACC, what clicked for you? What was that big, like, oh, this is where I'm meant to be?
It felt like a family. The way Miles and Gage and Tyler preach, from my like growing up in church, I know a fair amount. My dad went to seminary and has been a pastor in the past. So like I've grown up with a fair amount of Bible knowledge, I'd say.
Yeah.
So like I knew from my background information that I could like test at least a little bit of what they were saying and knowing like, okay, this is fact. Like I know this to be true.
Okay.
And I know context based off of that. And they would also give context and preach from like the actual scriptures. And I know that other places didn't necessarily do that. So it was like I enjoyed it. And then they are also like, not that they're good speakers, I say in quotes, but they like aren't a boring pastor. They don't just have one monotone and boring voice sound.
And we're talking about the Bible today. No, they're electric. They get fired up. Like I remember, I never told you the story, but when you first invited me to the first Sunday, I think Jack was with us too, or something like that. That was the one me and Jack both went.
Okay.
When we were driving back, I was thinking about this when taking a shot. I don't even know why this memory came up, but I was like, man, I don't know about this Miles kid. He just gets fired up everywhere. But then the second time that I came over, he gave a message on what soil.
You remember parable of the sower?
Yeah, and it comes with the walkway or something like that. It was like the trail or something like that. The path, and then the rock, the thorns, and the good soil.
You got the good soil. You got the thorns. You got the rocky ground, and then you got the and then the path.
Yeah. So if you guys want to, you should go. I don't even know what what message that is on, but I guarantee you can find it on YouTube somewhere.
You could look up parable of the sower on Google.
You can
either find the passages or just find a video.
Yeah. No. So the biggest part that I grew in, or not that I grew in, but the biggest part that made Auburn so great for me was it's in the name. It's Auburn Community Church.
Yeah.
That word community, what does that mean to you, and how did that fit in with the church that you were looking for?
So when I first came to ACC, there was not a youth.
Really?
It was me and this guy named Aiden Punch.
Oh, okay.
We were the youth.
Okay.
We would drive down to Auburn, which is like roughly
2.
No, I'm not going to say that. Okay. It's a fair amount. It's fair distance away.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'd do that like one Wednesday out of every month.
Yeah.
And being in high school, so it was not the greatest.
Not the greatest way to spend your Wednesday night.
This is true, but it was also like really like enjoyable. And then the next semester we got a more structured youth.
Yeah.
So that was it, and it started to build community.
Yeah.
So then once that school year had ended, over the summer I kind of brought on kind of dinners to keep the community going.
Yeah.
And I noticed we all grew so much and everything. So like I really just feel at home at this place.
Yeah.
So it's very, I think community is the absolute best word that could have been that first C in ACC.
No, the thing that I've noticed in my life was that I was very much this type of kid. Like I went to church, but my emotional state was not in church. Like I did not I was not there presently. And for me, I didn't even think how much, because I never wanted to do a community group. Growing up, I was like, I don't know who these people are. I don't want to talk to these people. I did not want to be in a community group. Now, also, I was like 8 to 12 years old when I was in that mindset. And then I stopped, like right when my parents got divorced, I stopped going to church as much. And my dad would try to bring us to go to church, and we never really like fell through with it and whatnot. Like we went, but it was like every other week, you know? So for me, I sort of like didn't really get used to going to church. And it wasn't until you invited me to ACC, and even then I was skeptical because I was like, man, I gotta give up a Wednesday night. Like I could, like, bro, the amount of change that I saw within the first month of going to ACC was insane. And then my life, like it was crazy because I went legit all in I think it was October. Okay, Evan. All right, listen. You guys don't have cameras or able to see this, but it was just like, anyway.
I made a reference.
Yeah, he made a reference. But we went, like legit, I went all in on this word that ACC provided, in this like scripture and messages and life advice they brought with it. And I was like, oh, like I could actually vibe with this. Mm-hmm. And the moment I went all into that community, I was like, oh, I actually felt at home. And that was one of the craziest things for me. I didn't know how crazy it would be that community could change your whole outlook on church. And for me, it was that I now feel closer than ever being in this community, because I've never had any experience with any other community outside of any other churches I've gone to. Yeah. Respect to all the churches I've gone to. They're amazing. It's just this one, I've never experienced so much emotion and love and support in this one community. Mm-hmm. It's insane, and I love it. And that's why I love ACC. It's amazing. Yeah. The community is there. It's great. Mm-hmm.
Kind of to build off of that, as Miles has said in the past, and I have come to really like agree with him, we are called to corporately worship, which is essentially like just as the Catholic faith calls it. It's like mass. Mm-hmm. Like when you go to the church service on Sunday and you're all standing there like worshiping and actually being in the Word. And like on Wednesday when you're getting together with fellow believers and fellowshipping and having these conversations and like being in the Word. This is what we're called to as Christians. It's not a solo walk. You're supposed to do it with God and then people in your community. Yeah. Like the Jewish faith, like when Jesus was around, they had 3 times a day where everyone in the community would stop and go pray. Yeah, in their quiet place. So it's one thing that that's one of the things that I first kind of loved about ACC was that they recognized that it's not just like a you and your family. It's like you, your family, and the church, the Big C church. Yeah. Hey guys, this is Jorge on another interrupted part of the How's Life podcast. Yeah, we got 4 subscribers, guys. Let's go. On the podcast, on YouTube. Guys, this is where it's all going to be uploaded. It's amazing. It's great. Evan finally subscribed. Not that he needed to, but we have the moral support. We're all here. With that being said, I don't even know how many times I'm going to interrupt it, but hopefully this is the last time. Anyway, back to the episode. No, I totally agree. The thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that Jake Paul just won a boxing fight. All right. Yep. Yeah, I know this is hard transition, but it is what it is. Jake Paul won a boxing fight against a pretty good opponent, Andre August. I think he was 10. I have no prior knowledge of this other than our little slight conversation at Chick-fil-A. I'll give you some backstory. So Jake Paul just came off of a loss. He lost to Tommy Fury. I think it was, I don't even know if it was unanimous. I think it was split. I think it was a split decision. He lost to Tommy. And then now he went back to the lab and he was like, okay. So he was sort of like done with the entertaining part of boxing, like, fighting like Tyron Woodley or like building his name. Like people know who he is now, right? Yeah. Now he fought a
not a no-name, but like a unfamiliar in the world of boxing. Andre August, this kid, he had 5 knockouts. And the craziest part about that whole entire thing is that he knocked this guy, Andre August, out in the first round. And everybody's sort of been like, okay, fight a real boxer, and then we're going to consider you like, because at first it was like, okay, fight an athlete. And then he fought, what was his name? Nate Robinson, knocked him out.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, fight Ben Askren. Knocked him out. And then they were like, okay, fight a fighter. And then they was like, okay, Tyron Woodley twice. Won the first one, knocked him out the second one. Okay. Fight a boxer. So then he fought, friggin', what's his name? Tommy Fury, and then lost. Right? So then they're like clowning on him. But then he had Anderson Silva, and then Tommy, and then Nate Diaz, or something like that. It was something like that. Then he came back and he was like, okay, now I'm going to work on myself as a actual boxer, because he wants to go fight for I forget what weight class he's in. I think it's light heavy. He wants to fight for the light heavy championship. Let's just say that, right? Mm-hmm. And he's starting with this fight, and this fight was free. It was free with your DAZN subscription to watch this fight, and there was no pay-per-view, and it's completely free for whoever wanted to come over and do that, whatever. They could come over and watch it. He knocked him out in the first round. So that leaves the question of, is Jake Paul a real boxer? Because everyone has the word, and everyone has their own little, like, is Jake Paul a real fighter? Evan, me asking you, is Jake Paul a boxer?
Yes. Do I think he's at that caliber that he could go fight and actually contend for the belt? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I think he's taking it serious enough to where I could consider him a real boxer? Sure.
I think I'm right where you lie. My only thing that's different is that in order, like, is he a boxer? In my opinion, yes, he's a boxer. All right, I don't care who you put him against. He's gonna box him, and it's gonna look like a boxing fight. Mm-hmm. Is he a world champion right now? No, he's not a world champion. He talks a lot about how he wants to go fight Canelo.
That is such a terrible fight idea.
Yeah, I just
like Canelo is what, like 145 or something like that.
I don't even know. I don't even know. But I know he's good. He's really good. Canelo's obviously like really good.
A 60-pound difference.
I know.
That's never going to happen.
But it was the same thing. But also, it's the same thing with Logan Paul and Floyd Money Mayweather.
That was for, like,
jokes.
Yeah, that was not really a joke. That was just like a show.
It was very much a show.
And if he's trying to, like, fight real fighters, he needs to fight real fighters at his weight.
Yeah. But I think the reason why he wants to go fight Canelo is because it's for the belt or something. I don't even know. I just know that he wanted to go fight Canelo because, I mean, that would make a lot of money too itself. Very much of an entrepreneur. But when it comes to this fighting business, we were once told, and this isn't a jab at somebody, but also at the same time it kind of is. I'm just kidding. We were told that some context here. People think wrestling, all right, going on this back thing to wrestling, they think that it's what's considered
homosexual.
Yes, gay. They think it's gay, and I don't think it's gay. I think it's a really tough sport to be in. But here's the question. Someone said that there's a better chance at you winning nationals or the Olympics. The Olympics in wrestling.
Winning Olympic gold in either freestyle or Greco.
Mm-hmm. Than to win the Masters in golf.
I completely and utterly disagree.
I agree with that too. I think that is the funniest, is actually like one of the funniest things I've heard, because that's so not true. Are they both hard in their respective sports? Yes. I'm not saying I could go win a gold medal in the Olympics against a wrestler. I would get absolutely destroyed, right? The fastest I ever got pinned was 22 seconds. I'd probably get pinned in like 10, all right?
Yeah.
Well, not even that, maybe even shorter, who knows? But for golf, like, I'm not going to go win the Masters either. Like, I'm not good at golf. I'm good at mini golf, but I'm still not going to, like, I'm not there. I think you have a better chance at winning golf than you would at wrestling. Because this is the point that you brought out, was that you could go into a room with someone. Okay, this is how you wrestle. You get 1 hour. This is how you wrestle. Boom, 1 hour. You are still not going to last a chance against somebody who's been doing wrestling their whole life. I think I would have a better chance at winning the Masters if I had an hour to prepare and then go and, compete in the Masters.
I think the way I put it was I would have a better chance, or someone would have a better chance having an hour of golf lessons before a competition than a person who only has an hour of wrestling practice before a competition.
Yeah.
Even if it's both amateur, like absolutely first, like novice level.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. There's such an aspect to wrestling that's like a mental. There's a reason that Joe Rogan was like, and these wrestlers, man, they're just different. They like have such a strong, tough mindset. It's the way they're brought up. Like, there's a reason he said that.
It's facts.
And no one ever says anything about the toughness of golf.
Listen, we love all the golfers.
What's the mental strain of golf?
Yeah. No, the mental strain on a golf player, like, there's like none.
Yeah, there's not. Like, you literally have John Daly drinking beer and smoking cigarettes all weighing probably close to 350.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's still a pro at like 60 years old. That's not a thing in wrestling.
I'm just saying, I'm not discrediting any golfers. We're not doing that. We're just saying when it's put against wrestlers and golfers, and you haven't done either or, you have a better chance. But also, like, you use your body in two completely different ways in wrestling. So that's the only thing I would give golf, but not even, like, I wouldn't even do that.
This is true.
Yeah. In your opinion, and I think we know. What is the hardest sport to compete in your opinion? The hardest sport.
The hardest sport. I would say wrestling.
Why would wrestling? Because I just think it's overall. I would say it's wrestling. And I've done a lot of sports. I've done football, I've done basketball, I've done soccer, and I've done wrestling. Wrestling's the hardest one. Because here's the thing that people don't understand. Wrestling is not all physical. It is all mental too. Like, wrestling is one of the most mental sports in the world. It'll test you because there are times that you're going to really, really want to quit, and that's when you find out how good of a wrestler you are. Mm-hmm. Case in point, the hammer and nail drill, where you have one guy and they're constantly battering you, and every minute they rotate out.
So hammer and nail is there's one guy that stays in for 6 minutes, and then you have 3 other guys that wrestle you for 2 minutes. So you're going through the gauntlet, or the ringer, as some people call it. Mm-hmm. So my reasoning for why wrestling's the hardest. Yeah. So when we did it in freshman year, because I got a concussion my sophomore year. Yeah. And I was done after that. So we had an hour and some change of lifting in the morning. Yeah. 2-hour practice. Yep. And then if you had to cut weight, you had to run outside on your own time. Yeah. And then you also had to diet.
What'd you wrestle at your freshman year?
32.
32. Okay.
You don't do that for any other sport. Like, there's not a weight aspect other than like sports, UFC or boxing.
Well, UFC is literally like,
it's wrestling, and the best UFC fighters like Bo Nickel, Kamza.
Bo Nickel's actually kind of good when you think about it. The UFC.
Yeah. He's pretty good. Khabib.
Nurmagomedov.
They're all wrestlers at their foundation.
No, that's actually facts.
Kamaru Usman was a D2 national champ.
Was he actually?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's actually kind of cool.
It might have been D3, but he's a wrestling national champ. Put it that way. Like, the top guys, wrestlers. Yeah. There's a reason why a lot of wrestlers go and do SEAL training and like special ops training. It's because they actually succeed. It's because they got that mental, like, fortitude that they build from wrestling. That might not be the right way to do it.
No, I get you. I get you. The craziest thing is that I learned a lot of my character, and I learned how to work hard in tough environments due to wrestling. Yeah. I don't think, especially like, and I got in at the right time. I only wrestled 1 year. I wrestled my sophomore year of high school.
Wasn't it freshman?
No, freshman. I was.
Oh yeah, because I was able to watch every match because I was hurt.
Yeah. sophomore year, I got in at the right time, and that was right when I was like, I had some things going on in life that I was like, yeah, this sucks, and I never really would push through it. But sophomore year, I was like, okay, well, now I actually have to. And that mentality of pushing through those hard, like, for example, this is what I always go back to. I was talking to a guy one time, and funny enough, he actually told me that it was so inspirational I should have a podcast. Well,
really?
Who would have thought we'd been here? Anyway, I was talking to him, and I told him about this story. My last match ever, I told myself I wanted to get 3 wins. And I know that's kind of low, but that's what I wanted to do. I'd never wrestled before. I was just like, I just want 3 wins, right? On my last match. So it's like, so the way wrestling works in a tournament is that essentially, like, you're supposed to win all of them. If you win all your matches, you're gonna get first place. If you win and then you lose your last one, you're gonna get second place. All that sort of stuff. But the way that I think it's a 2-loss and you're eliminated. Is that it?
You lose once and you go to the consolation bracket, which is basically the other side.
Yeah.
And then you lose again and you're out unless you make it to the blood round, which that's placing.
Yeah.
Usually it's 3rd or 4th is placing, but then at some bigger tournaments you might have 5th and 6th. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll have 7th and 8th, and sometimes you'll place everybody. Yeah. So
it just depends. Yeah. This match that I was at, so I am currently sitting at, I think it was 2-9. Yeah, I was at 2-9. I lost so it was 2-8 going into this. I lost my last one, which made me 2-9. So now it's literally win or go home. So this is my as in I know, like, this is my last match. If I lose, my last match of the season, I don't get my goal, whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I'm a little nervous. I'm actually really nervous. I'm really nervous because I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna get this win. I got this 3rd win. I get in the match, and within the first period, I get scored on. I think it was like 0-6.
Goodness.
I know. I got absolutely destroyed.
How does that even work?
Because
3 back points. Never mind.
Yeah. So
no, that's what. How does that work?
What? Or wait, no, not 0-6. What was it?
Would it be 0-5 or?
No. It would have been, no, it's 1-6. 1-6. My bad. It's 1-6, right? What? What is so surprising to you?
That's like,
I know that I was
down and escape, and then 4 other points.
That takedown,
escape, takedown, and then where's the other 2?
I don't know. I just know that I was the
2 near fall.
Who cares? Yeah, it was probably near fall.
Okay.
The point is that I was losing by 6 points. If I remember correctly, it was 0-6. Like, I literally did not have any points. That was the most stupidest part about it.
Oh, this wasn't first period. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I had like literally no points, and the kid was literally dominating me. Right. It was like I get back into my corner, or not my corner, but like, you know, when the refs like take their time to do whatever they're supposed, and you can like sort of walk around the ring. I was walking around, and I got into where Gray would be, right? Oh, yeah. And I was like, okay, like, I suck. And he was like, and he pointed, I remember him, he pointed at the scoreboard, and he was like, you still got 2 periods left.
Okay.
And I was like, dang, you're actually right. I still got 2 periods left. And I was like, I'm not done. Like, I'm not pinned. And I came back. It was I wish this was recorded. I don't know who has this recording or if it was even recording, but I came back and won 12-11 after a 6-point deficit. It was a dog fight to the very end. I remember the last 30 seconds, I had to keep him on top, or because if he got that 1-point escape, it would have been time we would go to overtime. I kept him on there. I didn't get called for. Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. That's how I was. So it was probably 5-6. It was the fact that I kept grabbing his hand, or like I kept on like doing this.
Oh my gosh, you kept locking hands.
Yeah, I kept locking hands. That's it, because I got a penalty for that, and that's what Coach Bro was getting mad at me for. He's a freaking beginner. Yeah. That's what it was. That was what it was.
Lock hand violation.
Yeah, because that was just my favorite thing. I just loved, like, you know, friggin' throwing kids around when I was at 126.
Yeah, you got to go to Olympic styles for that one.
Yeah, but with that being said, it just brings in that dog mentality, that work ethic to go, okay, listen, I still got 6 minutes left. 4 minutes, right? 2 each round?
Yeah, 2 each round. I
still got 4 minutes left, and I got to get 12 points to win. Boom, let's go. And that's where that dog mentality comes in, and you got to work hard for it. It's definitely one of those hard things. But I got 3 wins and then lost the next one because the other guy ended up going to state. So, yeah. So it wasn't fun, but
yeah.
Wrestling for sure definitely develops character. And anybody, and I mean this for anybody, if you're thinking about doing wrestling, do wrestling. It's gonna suck, but it is the best.
The suck.
Embrace the suck is the best feeling in the world after you get that first win after all that hard work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that first match, I lost in 22 seconds, got pinned, and then next one came back and won my first match ever. So it was really cool. And then went on a losing streak of like 6 or something like that. It wasn't good. And then I won another one, and then whatever. The point is, do wrestling because it develops character. But yeah, so wrestling, it's a good sport. Hardest sport for sure, but the most entertaining sport, football.
No.
What is the most entertaining sport?
I wouldn't say football in general. I'd say NFL is pretty boring.
No, college football is pretty
College
tough.
football, yes.
Anything
aside from college football.
Hot take right here. College football is better than the NFL.
That ain't hot take. That's pretty common.
In the place that we live, in the South.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. No, how's your fantasy team doing? Because I know
7-7 in the regular season.
they did, because I'm a Cowboys fan, so I love this, but the Cowboys absolutely dominated the Eagles. And
yeah,
I was thinking about you. I was like, dang, you suck. Because Evan has Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown.
Jalen Hurts put up 8 points.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
And dookied the bed. Yes, I'm 7-7. I'm 5th seed, tied with Grant.
So wait, you still need to win how many more? 2 more games?
I've fallen out of the playoffs.
Oh, you're not even eligible?
No.
Oh.
It's kind of dumb.
But at least you're not having to do the punishment.
This is true. James Watley went 3-11. The next closest was 5-9.
I couldn't imagine that, to be able to like pick your team. You're like, I'm gonna win.
He didn't.
Oh, he did. Oh, it was auto draft. That's right.
auto-drafted.
That's right. Well, he kind of deserves it on that one.
Yeah.
He auto drafted. But yeah, no.
Well, Logan set the time to like 11 o'clock for our draft time. So
I do remember that. Yeah,
like
I was up at 11 trying to help
not
him.
it.
Yeah, that was not fun. Someone actually, I was going to be in a fantasy football thing, but someone forgot to set the time for our draft, and we never got the thing on time. Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, what else is there? What else is going on in the world? The sports. Oh. By the time, again, this episode comes out, we're going to be in the NFL playoffs, or just right around the corner for the NFL playoffs. Who do you think wins the whole thing?
I don't watch the NFL.
How about them boys?
I bet the Niners have a very good chance. I don't think the Chiefs make it to the playoffs, or not to the. They make it to the playoffs.
Oh, that was so funny. Did you see the Buffalo and Chiefs game?
I didn't watch it. I don't watch it.
Essentially, they're like, it came down to the wire,
yeah, I did hear about that.
And their wide receiver was offsides, like by a complete foot, and Patrick Mahomes would not shut up about it. And he was like, "That's a terrible call, man." I'm like, that's the right call. Like, if that doesn't prove, like, the refs on his side. Love Patrick Mahomes, though. Oh, no, I do want to say this, though. When it comes to playing football, like, watching it's fun, but playing football is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Playing flag football is honestly one of the greatest things you can do in your free time. I have this question that's sort of like a lob and a dunk almost for me, but who's the best wide receiver that you played with?
Benji.
Are you kidding me? That's the best wide receiver? Okay. Well, you know what?
Like, actually, it's
Benji
he's
or
good. Trell.
Yeah, he's like 6'2" and probably runs like a 4.40. He's freaking fast.
Beast of nature.
Freak
of nature. Sorry.
Yeah, freak of nature. Beast of nature.
When I said beast of nature, that makes no sense.
Beast of nature is the same. It's the same thing. It's slides, same thing.
Okay, y'all got to say in the comments if y'all say sides.
Yeah,
or
hold on.
slides.
No, for real.
That is not. No one has ever said like. Give me a slide of mac and cheese, bro. No one says that.
No, but like they would understand what I'm saying. If I say,
they
"Hey, yo, give me a slide of that,"
misspoke.
Give me a slide of that mac and cheese. They're not gonna be like, "What'd you say?"
Oh, I definitely would.
No, you would, but normal
it's like
people.
How people from certain schools, if they said like the field is a board, I'm like, the what?
The field.
So like in robotics, there's the.
Oh.
It's like,
yeah.
The what?
No.
The board. The what? Oh yeah, the field. Yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
The slides and the sliders are the same thing.
No, they're not.
A slider.
A slider is a little burger, and a slide is a shoe.
No. Well, yes, a slide, it could be slang for a shoe, but a slide could be also another word for a slider.
No.
Give me a slide of that Jello. It doesn't sound right,
No.
but like you would understand what I'm saying. Yes,
No.
you would understand what I'm saying. Oh no. No, they would understand slides. They would understand slides.
Nope.
Yep.
All right, leave that in.
We will. But we're leaving this. We're leaving it at slides. Well, actually, no. We're not going to leave it at all. We're going to leave it to the comment section. That's where we're going to leave it to. Make sure it's slides or slides or sides, and I'll make sure I put a poll out on Instagram so you guys get to choose if you can't do it on YouTube.
Bro is actually psycho.
Psycho what? I'm telling you, wait, what's the deal? Is it's like, what are we debating?
Sides
Versus
slides.
This is the same thing. Guys, come up clutch and say slides,
It's like
please.
you and Salmon.
Say slides and no, because you would understand what I say, Salmon. It's the same thing as like up or down. Like we'll be like, when we going up to,
Yeah, but it's
Florida. It's the same thing. You get the point.
yeah. No,
Yeah, my IQ is not that good. You guys can go ahead and tell. If you guys don't vote slides, I'm not doing another podcast. So we're leaving it right here.
This is
Yeah,
cap.
no,
You just spent $500.
Yeah, I'm going to make 5 podcasts and we're calling it right. Actually, did you know that most podcasts fail after episode 7?
Really?
So we're going to make 8 episodes and we're just going to leave it at that.
There
we
making
go.
it past the average.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Above average. That's what we're aiming for. No, but the cool thing is that we're going to be here for a while, honestly. I'm going to get comfortable. As Coach Prime says, we coming. Coach Prime says we coming. By the way, for all the college football people that don't like Colorado, I love them. They need to get better, honestly. And don't judge Prime on this first thing. It's literally going to get better. He's going to be fine. All right. Next year, he'll be okay. Definitely not going to make playoffs, but they're
Getting better.
They're getting
They
better.
went 1-11
The year
last
before.
year.
Then
Now they went
3 and something.
9.
I don't even know.
8.
They didn't make a
9.
bowl game, so it's probably
3
9.
and 9.
3 and 9. They'll be fine. They'll be back.
Next year, I bet they go 5 and 7.
They'll
Or
make
5
it
and 6.
because Prime's deal is like 5
5 and
years.
7. I bet they'll make a 12 team eventually, but I don't know.
No, they'll make the 12 team.
Probably.
They'll probably make the 12 team, but they'll probably get past the first round and lose to one of the first.
Yeah, they'll pull the
seeds.
Oak Mountain. Never make it past the
Anyway, guys, we're not going to talk about Oak Mountain football. We're going to talk about Oak Mountain basketball. I'm just playing.
That's not any better.
Not even better. That's right.
Maybe even worse.
Oak Mountain wrestling. No, we've talked about wrestling too
They're
much.
not even any better. Well,
Yes,
they're better, but they're not much
good.
better. Not really.
Yeah, they are. They're beating kids left and right.
This is true, but
They're beating
not
kids left and right.
ranked.
You can be ranked and
Yeah.
no. Yeah, no, we're gonna find a sports team that we can talk about that's actually pretty good. All right, guys. That's the wrap on the podcast, the first episode. So we're all here. If you guys haven't already, for the I don't even know how many times you guys have heard this, but please, if you want to, all right, but also to make my heart happy, if you want to subscribe to the YouTube, How's Life podcast, and just so
Don't
you guys
forget
know,
the @ I just tried to subscribe. And
it's not. We're not as popular, so you're gonna have to go onto YouTube and you're gonna have to do @
like
and
the
then
@ sign.
the How's Life podcast, and the T and the is capitalized.
So every word.
Yeah, the beginning of every word is capitalized.
And
So
there's no spaces.
yeah, no spaces, and it's use the @ when you type it in. Go follow, go subscribe to it. Have post notifications on because we're gonna be posting on every Wednesday. I don't know exactly what time, so it could be like 7 o'clock.
Subject to change.
Yeah, subject to change. We don't know. All right, we're fluctuating with it. We're gonna figure out when is when. As in right now, again, we don't have it on Spotify. We're going to get it on Spotify eventually. Don't know when that's going to happen. Also, stay tuned to the Instagram because the Instagram will be able to tell you if we have it on Spotify, when we have it on Spotify, and what to look for when it's on Spotify. But as in right now, it's on YouTube. Make sure you guys listen to it. It's going to be a banger. Our second guest that we have going on will be my mom, Rachel Garcia, in the flesh. We're going to be talking about mental health, and that's all I'm going to leave it at. A little sneaky peeky. So,
Interesting.
with that being said, thank you guys for watching, viewing, and subscribing. I will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.